it has taken this long. I've had 7 crashes, and I've been waiting for the pod to give me something that isn't a bionic dupe. All so I can send Stinky off on his last ride. It's not been a fun week. So as I stated, it's I've got it set to save every cancel. Options. Game. Every 2 cycles, because I've had, I don't know what I can do here. I had a whole bunch of crashes in a row, and it sucked. It sucked real hard. You are fueled. You have a pile of food, bunch of oxalite. Get moving, Stink. Yeah. On the big list of stuff that hasn't been fun, this week we're the playthrough. I found out there's it's not a bug, it's just a thing that happens. It's when a remote worker wants to go work on a job, and then the dupe grabs the job, the game crashes. This I had to block a few things in. What is your problem? What do you have empty pipe for? Oh, for reals. Why are you not getting any further than that? I bet. Okay, I know why. Yep. Yep. So I hooked a bunch of stuff up here. Mostly to try to use all 3 of these at the same time. And I think it's that chunk of pipe there. So if I do this. Is that what you send down the line? Okay. Which means my next problem is... You have crude oil, you have crude oil. That one's not going to have crude oil. But it should. Okay, let's do this. Now do you move? One of those days. One of those days. Also, I could have swore I dismantled this liquid bridge. What did you dismantle instead of it that I'm going to have a problem with now? Tower, or was it? Let's do that. So what I was doing was, for a brief shining moment, I had this guy all... Oh, he's back up to 5 of 5. So that's... These pumps only move 10, which supplies 2. That makes 6. And the frame rate crusher up here, the frame rate carbon crusher, seems to run at about 1. 200, 300. If I can get this to work, it ought to provide... Oh, let's turn this off. There. This ought to supply all 3. It probably won't. I guarantee something's going to assume it's going to happen. It's one of those endgame things you try to do just to make stuff work, right? I mean, it's like well, that has gone down. The main reason it's gone down is we're shooting petroleum at I want to say Blazista. Still shooting. Yeah, 200 kilos every few minutes. Because Stinky has, not Stinky, Blazista has like no other power source. All it's got is a bunch of iron volcanoes and the sun. Which doesn't help much. Alright, we just picked up a duplicate. Where are you? I didn't even see your name. Ashkin. Hey, I finally pulled an Ashkin. And he's got improved carrying, so he can make it carry a bit of that exosuit training distance. This place is, there's nothing else to do here. The only other thing to do is to slowly sweep up iron and drop it down here so it can get cooled and brought back up. And that's it. This place exists to do nothing more than consume resources. The job's done. I just can't leave one dupe here because if something happens, they'll just die alone on this rock. And frankly, that's really sad. So in other kind of indie game kind of things, tinkering with these. So that's all three of them tagged up. Finally working. It doesn't matter anymore. I gave it a try having dupes pick up from the pitcher pump, but they would drop it off, it would immediately form a tile. I will admit having to save scum once, because this was sitting over here. There was some piping here. Tungsten formed a tile, melted the emptier, melted the pipe, filled the place with 3,000 degree steam, proceeded to start, and it was just began to rain bits of like rock gas. Not my proudest moment. Not something I caught on camera either. So at least now I don't have to deal with the aftermath. We have consistent shipping of tungsten back to the main. So we got 20 tons of it. We're kind of limited by power to transfer. I mean, I could bring this guy over and have him pick up 6 kilos of tungsten at a time. Do I need to? No. Glad we have more thermium. Let's check something here. Entry, we have 1,200 tons of steel? The entire game. The entire output of the game. We have a third of that in thermium. I've been doing it considerably less time. It took me this long to finally start making squash fries for somebody. Gargani was having some food issues. The amount of barbecue coming out of here just wasn't enough. I gave it a shot at farming shove voles for the first time. I don't understand what's going on here. Like, this is supposed to be, you are supposed to get regolith. I thought they gave regolith to everything. Yeah, shove voles. Which ones are you? Delectavoles. See, they're all supposed to get that, but it's not being delivered. Like, there's giant pile of regolith right there, and none of it's getting into this feeder because dupes want to deliver it from all the way over here where it's not an appropriate temperature. Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? Why are you not pulling out of here? Should be pulling all of that out, putting it into that thing. This is a dedicated line. I guess probably because it's only coming at 20 at a time. But then the moment I open this door up, I guarantee it's going to stop delivering. Some dupe is going to go, I'm going to bring 2 tons of it. Yeah, there we are. So a bunch of my shovels have been starving to death. Which they were probably going to do anyway. I don't think I've got a whole lot of meat out of these things. Properties. You have not worked at all. There's not enough tasks on this asteroid to keep, yeah, okay, whatever. To keep 6 dupes occupied. Like, one person's running the deep fryer when it's available. I'm trying to make some backup pemmican with the extra meat. But then aren't enough other things to do, like everything's tuned up or idle. I have no need to, no need to mine anything anymore. Very, very slowly. Chewing through the leftovers from excavation. This is never going to catch up. And I mean, it's never going to catch up. There's probably several hundred tons of igneous rock there that can't get through because when I designed this, I should have separated these two. I should have separated. Oh, I'm pushing. Words are hard today. I should have kept these separate like that and let a different system, a different turbine system, pull the heat out of these window tiles. Because this thing has been hovering around 400 and some degrees like forever. This guy, yeah, there's been no movement the last 5 cycles on this loader. Because the heat never drops enough to move anything on. So what I have learned, that if I'm ever lucky enough to have multiple volcanoes in one place, I absolutely need to have this just to put it. One system over here, just to pull as much heat as possible. This system over here to cool it off. Kind of what I'm doing on, like Stinky here, with the tungsten ones. These here, these little stubs, are literally here so that when this stuff comes out, like right now, so this comes out at 2700, drops through here, lands on. I mean, I have enough Ethereum using it for fun at this point. Right? Drops here, heat dumps into there, this guy picks it up, sends it down the line. You are already at 132. This will eventually heat up a lot, but this guy's going to eat a fair amount of it. And because there's a vacuum here, I can safely have this leave at 150. And then it'll go up here for a final chewing and cooling. And then it'll just sit there, waiting to move down the line because I don't have enough power to get it where it's got to go. I swear, Sneaky, this is the last time we're going to etch-sketch your brain. This is the last time. All I need is for you to have rocket piloting and astronomy. So you can run the telescope there in the Progress Jupiter 14. So you have something to do when I send you off. I might 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't think he's going to make the round trip. I do still want to see these, but I'm not going to lie. At this point, I am quite prepared to not play Oxygen Not Included for a while. This has This has taken forever. Alright, Stinky, come get your skills. Yay! We have given him astronomy and rocket piloting too. And that's it, because this ship may have amenities, but he ain't gonna need a lot of these. Stinky. So what's my... over here, what's my distance? Hydrogen engine. Status. $31. Let's recount that all over again, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Ooh, that's... Nope, he's not going to make her. Not going to make the round trip. We're heading straight for the tear. Crew, change to... There. All this big fancy rocket, we're using it exactly once. Alright, Stink, where are you? Can't even click on you down the list because you're so far down there. Alright, Stinky is in. He's going to complain about breathability. Someone still hasn't turned the toilet on yet. Let's get that going before you do something dumb like pee on the floor. Here he is. Let's get you out of that suit. You got your fancy rocket piloting 2 hat. Let us send Stinky on his way. And see what we melt, because it's been a while since I've... And of course, on the way out, I proceed to break all of the gantries. What do we melt? Radiant liquid pipe. Where the hell? Oh. Is it one of those? Oh, it's to cool the, it was a bunch of piping I had built with the intention of cooling the gantries. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just deconstruct them. I had a button all set up and ready for that, and I still managed to forget it. It's right there. All I had to do was that. Oh well. Well, we've got a little under 5 cycles for Stinky to get there. Let's just step back and look at how much of this asteroid still remains. This biome here is still largely intact, except for a few tunnels. It has a thriving population of seals. Still have patches of snow that have never been touched, in but down here. This whole biome was left alone, as was a bunch of that, because I didn't need to, right? Like, ice was easy enough to make. Rock was easy enough to get. Wasn't an issue. Never did melt any of this. Do anything with it, really. There's still a chunk of the map I haven't explored. It's still all blacked out. Tried those and failed. Found out the remote workers are a great thing. I like them very much, and I will intend to use them in the future. As you can see, all 3 of them are going. Don't mind this guy. He's a glitch. Somehow one place made 2 of them, but I'm fairly certain when I restart. What am I saying? This game isn't get done, and I'm going to pick something else to play for a while. Because gunk I never really did figure out what to do with. Oh, it's just entombed. I had thought about things. Most of the gunk boilers out there involve using volcanoes. I had thought of trying to use this somehow. Was never going to happen because that comes out at 404. And you would still have to... What is your problem? Damaged all game. Comes out at 400 and you did not enough to flash. It says 399, but it actually trips at 402 or something like that, and we're just under it. Kind of the idea that you shouldn't be able to I guess so you can't geotune your way into simply having a petroleum geyser. I don't really have... I could introduce heat in another way, I'm just not sure where it would come from. I don't know how you would reliably sustain 400 and some degrees without using something like magma. I realized I like slicksters way more than I ought to. This happens every time I gotta ranch these things. Like, I don't want to kill them. I just want them to eat carbon dioxide and live a long, happy carbon dioxide eating life. An awful lot of infinite storage. Or making, trying to supplement Gergani's diet with stuffed berries. It's not working very well. I just needed something to do with all the extra berries I was having left here when I stopped making berry sludge for a while. How far along are you? We have a long way to go. Flamelin, this place. The Niobium volcano is doing a great job of helping keep the power up, I'll say that. It is requiring a little extra help. With some pips, and I gotta kill these off. I never did. Go ahead, starve to death, I don't care. If you could use niobium from microchips, I would be using it. But you can't. You're not allowed to use a rare resource. I don't feel like shipping stuff here constantly. And I don't even need... Do I really need to make... What's that? 8, 7, 14, 20, 2100 watts? Yeah, 2100 watts. I could do that, but I'm not. Place has survived fairly well with its pile of extra aminals that I'll have shown up. You're doing awesome on. I brought you a giant pile of pemmican. And you should be you making barbecue? I got 65,000 calories of meat kicking around. Here, make barbecue. Someone cook some real food. You can stop chewing on that for a while. Humidazon. What was your... All you had going for you was slush. Water and water. And then we exploited the living crap out of game mechanics. Run this place on ethanol. The fish have never really recovered. I'm not growing anything here in any amount to feed them. That said, had I thought about it, I could have pip-plamped a whole bunch of stuff like mealwood just to let it, you know, make seeds, turn into stuff to feed these guys. These they haven't beat the crap out of anyone lately because they haven't walked in there. And somehow this lock failed and the place filled with carbon dioxide. Puffs have not had a good day of it. The only thing Blizzista had going for it was the tear opener. These iron volcanoes are nice. I'll be honest, I'm not even sure how useful they would have been off the start. Even with Blizzista being right there. At no point was I ever really low on iron. The geothermal vents provide way more than enough rust to turn into iron ore. I had an iron volcano. I couldn't tell you the last time I processed iron ore into iron. Rokora's a forgotten hellhole. There's yes, it's covered in resources, none of which I want to risk dupes to come and get. It looks nice now, but the apocalyptic level of meteors just made it not worth it in any way, shape, or form. I would have had to truck in so many resources to keep this place alive. And I hate ranching shovels without a huge pile of resources to do it. Stinky turned out well. We're reasonably food positive. This guy's eating all kinds of stuff. Now they know how these things work, because they work with molten metals. I might do this again in the future. It seems like a much easier way of handling things than putting all your than boxing up certain things. I only wish it worked with actual volcanoes. Methano. I kind of regret sending all these materials here, but materials are... Everything I sent is something that is, for the most part, renewable or quite literally available in the extreme. I'm fairly certain these guys are not. These are probably hurting my frame rate too. See you in 4 cycles, Stinky. Well, Stinky, you're almost there. What are you doing in here? 0% stress? Pickled Tootsies, Trad pills. We've got to throw another oxygen canister in. If I were any good at editing, just imagine that this here is where there'd be a big long montage of Stinky setting down on planets and then taking off again, and him inside ships and him getting skill scrubbed every time. Come a long way, Stink. You visited every planet except Gorgani, because I never built a rocket pad there. I kind of could have, but I also could have sent you through the transporter. Did I? No, I didn't. No, I'm pretty sure I haven't. If you've watched this long, tell me if I've sent Stinky through a transporter back again. I'm fairly sure I haven't. Well, it has been 7,700 cycles. So it's entirely possible that I may have forgotten. Alright, Stink, this is it. We're at T minus 10 seconds to finding out what's on the other side of the tear. Don't worry, I've heard it's a beautiful place. There's all kinds of wonderful stuff there. You're gonna love it. You're supposed to go inside. And okay. I thought I was going to do it automatic. I was worried that... Oh. Achieve the Great Escape. The big montage of Different planetoids. Got one. Oh, there we are. The game is struggling. I'm running at 9. It's anywhere between 7 and 10 frames per second as it tries to do all of this stuff. Ashcan, who got here just in time to watch the game win. Yay, we won! I just got here. Everyone's all happy. Showing the pod locations, huh? Yay! Hey, you're not Stinky. Rob Stinky of his glory. You tell me I have to send the nails through just to get the right scene? We've always viewed the temporal terror as a phenomenon to fear, but like the civilizations before us, the call to adventure asks us to confront our anxiety and leap into the unknown. As a radical action of hope, I have sent enough duplicates through the temporal terror to start another colony. I've sent exactly one. Explore dimensions beyond ours and plant the seeds of life through time and space. Ah, the Great Escape. Oh, how many achievements did we get anyway? Yeah, we didn't tame one of every critter, which would have been difficult. All I really would have had to do was bring back a gassy moo. Designing 4 areas as a nature reserve. I didn't even think to do that. If I'm taming a gassy moo, that would have got me that one. Carnivore, this would have been a really, really tough one to do in this setting. Because you have to keep all of those animals alive. Locavore, the same thing. Consume 400 calories. Although granted, if you can get carnivore, you can get locavore. The hard part's carnivore. Super sustainable, I was never getting this in that run because I was going to go straight to petroleum generators. Any time I could have done that one. Oh well. Job suitability, I had way too many dupes. I could have done it early on. GMO, I was trying to do that. I got a bunch. What didn't get? I was never gonna get I was never gonna get nosh beans. I never found a single nosh bean all game. At all. Mind the gap. I could have been doing that. Never did. Never did the uranium thing. Did a research reactor. Got close. But then I started using the extra cold to cool stuff and didn't do the bionic things. So maybe at some point we'll try those. But what we did is we started with a place that was very cold, inhospitable, turned it into a place that was, for the most part, hospitable. That's a lie. Did more pit planting than I have ever done, ever. These guys were okay. I get that the cycle is supposed to be you produce wood to make ethanol, you use ethanol to make phosphorite, technically, which you will then use to make the food that makes you more ethanol, and then part of the process then gives you excess meat and reed fiber. I get that. I'm not going to tickle at all the balances for it. It did its job. We did it like I couldn't tell. We did it for several thousand cycles, and it worked. Right, we still have untouched pools of ethanol. We have scavenged a bit from up here. I have in single player. I've ranched these guys before. They were a bit of a pain, but not insurmountable. Got to learn to really enjoy the remote workers. We still have some of the ugliest things we set up at the beginning of the game. still here. These are still... I think those are still my only nature reserve and park on the home asteroid. These haven't moved in forever. There is debris everywhere that I'm trying to clean up, but it just doesn't work. Built that style of spawn for the first time. I had never helped out the hermit before. Found out what does and doesn't work for taming hydrogen vents. This I did the first time when Frosty Planet came out. That was still fun. This is just turn it on and let it run, and you leave it alone. And that's it. You give it some extra water, and it's fine, and it just produces an enormous amount of power and free resources. I like it so much. We had... This was the one oil biome on any planet we had. This didn't have any oil. It had a bunch of other junk. We looked at a bunch of it. We used up all the water we could. Made extensive use of interplanetary launchers, which probably wasn't helping a whole lot of things. A mountain of pit planting. Ranched. The only animals we didn't... No, we technically didn't ranch spigot seals or sweetles. Which is the first time in a long time I've never ranched sweetles, because until I couldn't figure out how to properly boil gunk to get sulfur. Maybe next time. You floating farty things are messing up my frame rate. But that's it. We're done. That's all headed to Humidizon. It's just rocket debris. It's going to get there in 0.3 cycles? We're just going to get a bunch of stuff back that we sent up, which is going to be a bunch of food, some steel, reed fiber. Not worried about it. But thanks for sticking around. 7,700. Yes, I know I play agonizingly slow. It's because I want to play the game, right? I want to enjoy every part of the game I possibly can, and I think I did. I just wish I'd been able to avoid it. Play it at a slightly quicker pace. Note to self: more cleanup. All right, I'm gonna take a break for a while definitely from ONI. I don't know what I'm gonna play next. Wreckfest 2 is in early access. Eco's had a big update, but I'm gonna wait for maybe one more. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot of games I'm actually any good at that you will enjoy watching me play. That said, I'm not sure if I'm any good at any of these games you watch me play. But regardless of what I pick, I will see you in the future.